Mike, you've mentioned that Select is a well-balanced nutritional supplement. Is there any area that Select comes up short on in vitamins or minerals that might require an additional supplementation?
Yes, there is. The first area with regards to this issue is that Select has no B vitamins in it and were purposely left out. The amount of Select taken by each person varies drastically. This could be an issue with vitamin B toxicity. So the vitamin Bs were purposely left out of the product. Fred had mentioned that a person may want to have a micronutrient blood test done to check your amino acids to see where they're out of balance, what minerals are out of balance, a B vitamin panel to check all of the Bs, like B1, B2, B3, B6, B12. Also, it'll check vitamin D levels, iron, and so on. Then there's no guessing when a person's attempting to rebalance the inner terrain of the body.
Well, where can you order that test, Mike?
In the U.S., it can be ordered from Spectra Cell Laboratories, Inc. Their website is simply spectracell.com. It's SPECTRACELL.com. Just open the website, find the locator, and type in the requested information to find a lab in your area. Or go through the Contact Us link for the information of a lab in your area. Once you have the information about the test and lab location, I would ask my doctor for a referral to take this particular test. Hopefully, the insurance company would then pick up the cost of the test since it was a referral by your doctor. The doctor is going to ask you why you want this test, as most likely he knows nothing about this nutritional testing. I would then simply advise my doctor that this test is going to allow me to check my amino acids, to see what's out of balance, my minerals, to determine what's out of balance, a complete vitamin B panel, which will check all my vitamin Bs, my vitamin D, iron, and so on, so I can rebalance the inner terrain of my body. I would tell him this would be very similar to rebalance a swimming pool to get it back in balance when covered with algae. Once rebalanced, the algae dies off. This would be the same for cancer or any other chronic disease, as the body must have the correct elements available and in balance to correct the body's chemistry. Then this should allow the healing process to take place regardless of the health issues. Then I'd finish by telling him that I wanted to get the cancer to die off, like algae in a swimming pool. With that type of information, I suspect that most doctors would then honor your request, or at least I hope so.
Yeah, I hope so as well. So if a person does not live in the U.S., what do they do if they want to try to take this test?
I would suggest getting on the internet and internet search for a micronutrient blood test to find someone in their area that can provide a similar test.
Okay, so when this test comes back, as I know you're familiar with them, can you give a little insight on what they should be looking at?
I like the test since it will tell you where you're out of balance and what needs to be taken to correct the imbalance. If there are any amino acids out of balance, I suspect that the Select should provide the elements for the correction of the imbalance, for the body to be able to make that correction with those elements.
Then if this test comes back telling a person that they need additional supplementation in the amino acid category, you believe by having added the Select to their nutritional protocol, this should balance the amino acid issue?
Exactly. I would not be adding any supplementation for the amino acid imbalance other than Select. It should be able to address the imbalance, so I wouldn't be going out and buying amino acid supplements.
Okay. Do you have any thoughts or comments on the vitamin and mineral category?
In the vitamin and mineral category, the test results can show that they're out of balance on the high side or low side. The Select should be able to balance this as well. Remember, vitamins and minerals play synergistically off of each other to create a proper balance in the body. Select lists the ingredients, elements, such as the minerals on the container, including any additional 74 trace minerals, which are in the product, but not listed out individually on the label. It has all the elements in it, and in my opinion, should be able to correct just about any issue in this area.
It sounds like a proprietary blend.
Exactly.
So if this test comes back telling a person they need additional supplementation in the vitamin and mineral category, you believe that the added Select to their nutritional protocol should balance out most any issue in this area? I mean, obviously, other than the elements purposefully left out of the Select blend.
That is correct. If any of the B vitamin panel are out of balance, Select cannot balance the deficiency in the B vitamins. There are no B vitamins in Select, as it was designed that way. So if the test shows a person's deficient in certain B vitamins, they'll have to order or go to the health food store and purchase the B vitamin that they're deficient in. The test will tell you which B vitamins you are low in and how much to take to get it back into balance. I would use sublingual Bs to balance where possible. That simply means the B vitamin would be placed under the tongue to dissolve and not swallow into the stomach, where the stomach acids might destroy it. A person will just have to see if the B vitamin they're deficient in can be purchased as sublingual or not. If not, a person will take the B vitamin they're deficient in per the instructions on the label, probably with a glass of water. I want to repeat this again. If the B vitamin is not made in a sublingual, do not put it under the tongue to dissolve. Just take it as directed on the box, probably with some water.
Okay, so that clarified any misunderstanding. What if a person doesn't have access to this test, or they're too sick or bedbound, or maybe they just don't have the funds to do it?
Yeah, that's a valid concern. Having worked with so many people from throughout the world over the years, there are many that may not be able to do the test. In my opinion, it would make for a very good baseline if it's possible. If it's not possible, they could at least have their doctor run a vitamin B panel, checking all vitamin Bs, and check their vitamin D level. That would be second best, along with a regular blood workup.
Well, that's some great information. Is there anything additional that you would like to mention here about balancing the B vitamins?
I think what I just mentioned is a good start. There are many that are bedbound and have not had any nutritional supplementation. In those cases, until they can get a blood test from their doctor, it might be a very good idea to consider giving the patient a vitamin B complex. The reason why, the complex has all the B vitamins in it and in balance. This would be a good start until you get a blood test to confirm where they're at and then balance from there. Then a person's just not taking an isolated B vitamin unless they know they're low in that particular B vitamin. I personally would use a sublingual vitamin B complex in the type case I just mentioned. It has all of the B vitamins in it, but not an overabundance, and they're in balance. I personally use this many times. I've also used a product called Garden of Life Vitamin Code Raw B Complex, which I like. It's not sublingual, but it's in the raw form and a very good product. Then hopefully the patient can get into the doctor, depending on what part of the world they're in, and at least have some basic blood tests done. This can at least check for the person's vitamin B6 levels or their B12 levels. But if they can get all the B vitamins checked out, it would be best. I'm fully aware that there are limitations on testing in the different countries. Once they have the test done, a person can then just adjust accordingly with their supplements. If they are low, which most likely they're going to be, since they've not been taking B vitamins.
Okay, so you're saying the vitamin B complex at least gets some balance of the vitamin Bs back into the body for jump-starting the body where it's appropriate.
Exactly. The vitamin B complex is not going to bring a person that is really low in a particular B vitamin totally back into balance, but it will help. Once you have a blood test, as I just mentioned, it will determine the B vitamin they may be low in, and the person can purchase the needed vitamin to bring it back into balance. You're simply balancing all of the B vitamins so they're not too low or too high.
That's some great information.